Haumadakiapi, Kangi Kinichapi Macha, Naha Oglala Lakota na Humpapa Lakota Vichasha Himacha, Mini Luzaha Hemataha, na Atewe ki Matowambli Echiap, na Inawe ki Hehaka Skawi Echiap. I welcome you as family. And that's how we do in my community and my people as American Indian tribal nations. That's our strength, is our family. And you all here tonight because you have some sense of that family. And I always like to open up these sessions with our indigenous languages because despite and against all odds, my people are still here. And we're still... I'd like to think that most of us know the history about how my people have been treated in this country, and it's not always been a good history, but it's our history, and it's our history together. And so I come from tribal reservations in North and South Dakota, and I moved here, and I noticed that in Minneapolis, St. Paul, my people were hidden in plain sight. I always wanted to come to the cities and experience all of the opportunities that were afforded to the residents here, and I couldn't see myself. I couldn't see my people. I couldn't hear our songs. I couldn't hear my language. And what I learned was that our community, just throughout centuries and throughout the last couple of decades, has become really disconnected. We've become, I guess, weakened because the systems has perpetuated our communities being separated. And that's our strength as community. We've always known that I can rely on my aunties, my uncles, my grandfathers for help and for assistance or just to break bread over. And one thing I noticed too is that we don't visit. It's a big value in my community is to be able to break bread and to we call it tiole. You know, we're going to go tiole and just walk around and visit our neighbors and our relatives. And we don't do that. And we haven't done that for a long time because we've been disconnected. We've had to move. We've had to suffer gentrification. And so what my organization does is the Native American Community Development Institute in South Minneapolis. We work to really build family and to really reconnect and then leverage that connection into organizing. And leverage that organizing into policy change and to create an environment and a community that all of us can be proud of. Not just my people, but all of us can be proud of. So one of the ways that we did that was we undertook about 2.5 years of community engagement sessions where we just had sessions like this, and we invited all community members, all walks of life, all professions, and we just asked them, what do you want? Instead of always being told or asked, what do you need? You know, that's the biggest thing that has hurt our people is always being pandered to our needs. And that's so deficit-based. And so we haven't had the opportunity to dream big and to think, you know, what's 25, 50, 100 years down the road, even though we're only 100 years away from, you know, termination policies of my people. So we really want to make sure that we're connected. And so we undertook this endeavor to create the American Indian Community Blueprint, which was a visioning document for the American Indian community throughout the region to identify key strategies and visions to improve the quality of life for all of our people. And so our organization really works to implement projects that highlight those visions and really creates opportunities for community members to plug in and to contribute all of their skills and assets to the work. So it's not my organization, it's not Jay Badhart Bull or NACD, it's our community that does this work together. And so what we've been able to do is successfully leverage those engagement sessions into organizing efforts. And so one of the cool things is that as we became stronger and more connected, we became stronger and more connected to other communities of color. A quick example is last fall, I was asked to speak at a Don't Buy Miss Saigon protest, which was going on at the Ordway in St. Paul. And I had no connection to the Asian community other than a couple of friends. And they asked me to speak on behalf of the Native community. And so I went over, and it was so humbling and such an honor to lend our community voice to that struggle and to that movement. And then a couple weeks later, by chance, the American Indian community was having a march and rally protesting the Washington Redskins team that came here last year. And we just got done doing it again this year, and I think I saw many of you there as well. So what was so cool was that it wasn't just American Indian people. It was our Asian brothers and sisters that came and felt connected to our work and to our issues and to our movements. And it was our African American brothers and sisters, our East African, Latino, our white allies. And we all realized and we're learning that we're stronger together, and we can't isolate all the damn time. That gets so tiring and so boring. So how do we work and leverage relationships like Build the Field, which is led by Nexus and a cohort of community organizations, to really improve the life of everybody? So a couple of quick events that we've been able to leverage engagement and organize for is really around creating power and systems and policy change in the American Indian community and throughout the city and the region. So we were able to organize the first ever Minneapolis American Indian Mayoral Candidate Forum last fall in our own community on our own terms, and had the candidates for mayor last year answer questions directly from our community members. So we had young mothers, we had artists, we had grandmothers, elders asking these hard questions to the candidates, saying, what are you going to do for me if you get elected? Which hasn't happened maybe ever in our community. But we took that engagement and were able to organize a community movement to really put pressure and hold our elected officials accountable for their actions. So that was a huge victory for us. And Betsy Hodges was elected, as we all know, and she's been a great champion and advocate for our community, and we're happy to have the council and the mayor's office's support. And so another thing that we were able to do in terms of engagement and organizing, I should back up a little bit. Engagement isn't just a one-time thing. It's a relational thing. And it's one thing that we have to keep this constant loop with community members included in that loop. And so we have monthly engagement sessions where we facilitate dialogues about the dreams and aspirations of our community, and then we're tasked with trying to implement those projects in partnership with the community. So when we were starting to have this discussion about Columbus Day recently, and we're tired of Columbus Day being celebrated in our community. We're tired of our kids learning that this white guy that accidentally showed up on our continent and ravaged our people and our population is being celebrated year after year after year. And he discovered our community and our people. And so we were able to successfully lobby and organize our community members and position them to have interactions with elected officials, with city leaders and community leaders. So we were able to implement the change from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day in the city of Minneapolis recently. And that was all led by these young, passionate, creative thinkers in our community being able to be empowered and have this understanding that their voice has value and that we want them and we need them in order to move all of our communities forward. And that's been so humbling and honoring, because one little step like that has led to, we just celebrated the inaugural Indigenous Peoples Day a couple of weeks ago, and there were a couple of state reps there that are going to propose a bill at the state level next year to change it at a state level, which is so amazing. Like one little action step from organizing an engagement can lead to these big policy changes where our kids won't have to be constantly told that, you know, the colonizer is the good guy. And that we can all celebrate our rich history and diversity and strengths and assets and how beautiful we are into making policy changes and systems changes that are going to mean bigger and better things for the generation coming behind us. And we inherited as a generation a community that was broken, that was disconnected, and through engagement and through organizing, we were able to weave our people back together and create this beautiful tapestry along with all of you, our new family members here and out in the city, to make a brighter future for everybody. So that's a little bit of what we do and who I am. So thank you very much.